you go down the list of these metrics that he laid out, you can fact check nearly all of them, which is something we've done.
Photographs of the inaugural proceedings were intentionally framed in a way, in one particular tweet, to minimize the enormous support that had gathered on the National Mall. This was the first time in our nation's history that floor coverings have been used to protect the grass in the mall. That had the effect of highlighting any areas where people were not standing, while in years past, the grass eliminated this visual.
Sean Spicer seemed like he was reading directly from a statement that certainly seemed to be carefully worded.
It was carefully worded, but he was careless with the facts. Keep in mind, he talked about how this was the first inaugural where they used white ground coverings to protect the grass on the National Mall. That is not true, Anderson. We found photographs from 2013. Here they are. Actually, those are different photographs, but we have photographs from 2013 that show ground crews laying those white ground coverings on the National Mall. There it is right there. You can see those crews doing that work at President Obama's second inaugural.
This is also the first time that fencing and magnetometers went as far back on the wall, preventing hundreds of thousands of people from being able to access the mall as quickly as they had in inaugurations past.
Said during the briefing, Anderson, that magnetometers were used around the mall and that prevented people from getting to the inauguration site and hearing Donald Trump. We asked the Secret Service about that claim, and the U.S. Secret Service tells us that magnetometers were not used around the mall, so that is not true.
We know that 420,000 people used the D.C. Metro public transit yesterday, which actually compares to 317,000 that used it for President Obama's last inaugural.
And then finally, he cited metro numbers. He cited the wrong metro numbers, Anderson. He talked about incomplete metro numbers that were not encompassing for the full day. Let's put this up on screen and tell you that according to Metro, Donald Trump drew 570.5 thousand people in terms of riders on the Metro system from 4 in the morning until about midnight. In 2009, it was 1.1 million for Barack Obama at that first inaugural and 782,000 in 2013. So, Anderson, those are three different metrics right there that are just incorrect, factually incorrect. So either Sean Spicer is deliberately misleading us and giving us bad information, or he went into this extraordinary briefing earlier today totally unprepared, which is something you can't do as White House press secretary. There are going to be days when we're going to be talking about things. Yeah, go ahead.
That's even the weird thing, though, about the numbers he gave on the Metro. They were actually, the numbers he gave were actually lower than the real numbers. Actually, more people were riding the Metro, according to the Metro, than Sean Spicer said they actually were. So even in his argument, he was giving his numbers were wrong, but they were wrong in a way that did not favor Donald Trump, who seems to care about how big the numbers are.
That's right, Anderson. And there's going to come a day when we're going to be talking about more important things than Donald Trump's crowd size. And on those days, the White House press secretary has to be accurate with his information. Now, I think this should be a teachable moment for this new administration. They can't come out and just blast the news media with bad facts, and that's what they did today.